Ideally, what you do is you have the testers play the game, and you record everything they do in the game, and you don't say anything. You just let them play the game as is, and then you make notes. I'm inferring that they're not liking this part. Is that intentional, or is this unacceptable? We need to change something here.
Right. Makes sense.
And I don't know if they made all the best choices in this game. I still, tentatively, for now, think that Hollow Knight is better than Silksong. I still have complaints about giving enemies too much HP, and some battles are drawn out for too long, and things like that. And they know this. They know that this is a problem in the game, but they decide to quote-unquote tolerate it. Because there's a Twitter comment from one of the developers. They're saying, you have choices. If you find a boss too difficult, you can move on and go somewhere else. So they have an intended way for you to play the game. They intentionally and expect you to meet a boss that's too difficult for you and to get discouraged. And their intention or their expectation is for you to say, okay, I'm just going to go somewhere else and explore other fights or other parts of the game. But I think empirically, the players don't do that. They just keep fighting the same boss over and over again, banging their head against it. And I think that is a common... This might be a habit from video games, because that's what you would do in Hollow Knight, I think. You would just keep fighting the boss. And it's what I'm doing right now. And I feel like, where else am I supposed to go? This is the only path. I've explored every other path. Maybe I haven't actually, now that I look at the map. I could go over here, maybe. But the instinct is here. This is where my soul is, my money. I gotta go get my money, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as I go get my money, the door shuts behind me.
Right.
And so now I'm stuck. And so I don't know that they made the right choice.
They're beta testing.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they made the right choice, but I don't know.
Right. Maybe their beta testing said otherwise.
No, I'm pretty sure this is a universal experience, because this is the main complaint from people on Reddit and Twitter about the game.
Yeah.
So they knew it, but they accepted it. They said, our intention is that you should then just go somewhere else.
But like, wouldn't they have seen from their testing that like
but sometimes
people don't?
Maybe sometimes like you
you're
have
like,
a vision.
I don't care.
Yeah, you have a vision for the game, right?
You have a vision. You have an artistic vision.
So here I am going somewhere else, right? I'm saying, okay, I just give up on my money, I guess.
Finally, you're just like, whatever.
Well, it's partially informed by the fact that now I know that that's what they intended. Like
They've told you how to appreciate the art.
Yeah, if they hadn't said that, I don't know that I would have given up and gone somewhere else.
Right. Interesting.
And there's a lot of game analysis on Silksong. I haven't watched much of it because I'm trying to avoid spoilers. But they say things like, as a good game designer should, they try to design the game to nudge you towards the intended gameplay style. And one of the things they said for that is the whole tool system, where when you throw your stars or whatever, it uses up shards, these 500 shards that I have.
Right.
And the idea is, if you fight a boss, you use all your tools, and now you don't have any shards. So you have to go somewhere else. You have to grind enemies to gain shards again before you go back and fight the boss.
Right.
But like, it doesn't work for me because I don't use tools.
Right. You don't use them. Yeah.
So you can see that there's that idea, right? It's not that they're bad game designers per se or anything like that. Like, from a textbook point of view, they quote-unquote did all the right things. They say, okay, let's design this tool system to encourage players to go somewhere else and do other things and nudge them towards the way we want them to play the game. But it's just an empirical question of like, did it work, right? Is this how people play the game?
Yeah.
And it seems like to me like it's not. It didn't work.
Right. The plebes are not appreciating the art the right way.
Big guy. I don't like that guy. He does 2 damage. Actually, this guy also does 2 damage. Gosh darn it. Yeah, the 2 damage thing, they also commented that was intentional. And I also think it's a mistake. They have a vision or whatever.
Right.
I feel like it's makes the game really annoying that so many enemies do 2 damage.
Yeah.
They said what they want is for you to alternate between being full health and being 1 hit away from dying. They didn't want a situation where you're at medium health, I guess.
Why?
I guess for the thrill, the excitement. It sounds like the Left 4 Dead thing I mentioned, right? Either you're like, you know, a huge challenge, you're about to die, or everything's fine. Let's call them. It's tough for me to argue for them because I'm not persuaded by it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So I do have to go to their room now. The one that was quote-unquote too difficult for me. I think I'm just gonna move on to the big room and just bang my head against that now. So now I really feel like there's nowhere else I can go.
It's intentional.
Yeah. So there are games where that's intentional, like Dark Souls, where you have a tough boss and you're just supposed to keep trying until you succeed. And what they do is they'll put a bench right before the boss room in cases like that, so it's not annoying like this.
Yeah, you just keep doing it. Yeah. I would prefer that.
And I think that's what people were expecting, and that's why some people are annoyed with Silksong.
Yeah, because it's annoying when you have to fight some little piddly guys just to go do your big thing. Because you're impatient and so you make mistakes. I agree with you. I don't feel like that adds.
But there are also regions in Dark Souls where the opposite is intentional. So what they do is the boss is not too difficult. It's relatively easy, but the walk to the boss is very difficult.
I think that's okay too. But like when you're obviously facing a difficult boss and you're going to have to do it multiple times, like when I lose, just let me start over.
Yeah, but I guess the intention is not just the boss, but the boss plus the walk to the boss. That is what they want it to be difficult, right? The combination of the two.
I'm not into it. Why do we keep getting led into places that don't have anything in them?
I don't know.
Alright.
What was your ring? What a scam! I don't know how to objectively measure this, but I feel like Hollow Knight, anytime there's a dead end, it gives you something and there's something good.
Yeah, something
Here's, like,
good. Yeah,
frayed
exactly.
rosary ring. It's like, come on,
might
like, what
get
the...
a piece of, yeah.
And so I wonder if they've also messed up that part of the design.
And it also might be a trap.
Yeah. I mean, that happens sometimes in Hollow Knight, but
Sure.
the ratio is okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, often it was good. Sometimes it's a trap just for variety.
Yeah.
But here it feels like it's almost never good, and we're not that far in the game. We're only in Act 2, right? And it's been like a trap quite a few times.
Yeah. And not really for the purposes of the story. Just a trap. Oh.
Yeah, somebody was complaining about how there's blind drops into traps, like you fall.
I agree with them.
And you just...
Yeah.
And there's like, that's not fun. Like to just...
Right. I mean, I guess that's kind of like real life, but still. I
Well,
don't play video games.
In Hollow Knight, they sort of did that, but only in one region, deepness. And so it's like a...
Oh, yeah. But that clues you in that you have to prepare for that. And you know that that's a limited challenge in one area. That's way better, in my opinion.
Well, deepness might be a good example of making the area unpleasant on purpose. Everybody hates deepness, I think. Because everywhere you walk, the floor breaks and there's spikes and things like that, and there's creepy spiders.
Yeah.
And just thematically, it works. You're supposed to hate it. It's intentional.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems okay to me.
But I guess you were implicitly asking, why would the designer ever make an area part of the game that you don't like, right? And so this is an example.
I guess I was more asking, why would you make like a not known to be time limited part of the game unpleasant?
Well, because you're crafting an experience, right? In deepness,
I guess.
You're intended to hate it, and it works in Hollow Knight. You do hate it, but you love the rest of the game. And so in theory, you could imagine a designer says, well, my vision is that they hate the whole game, right? And
I guess.
And you know, if you succeed, did you succeed or did you fail type of thing. But
right.
But here, I don't think that was their intent. I don't think they're trying to make us hate parts of Silksong. I think they wanted to encourage that, go explore somewhere else behavior. But I don't think they succeeded at that.
Interesting. Yeah.